Well, hello there. Carol Dockum here with Beautiful Faces Going Places Women's Success Network. And I am super excited today as we are continuing with our Business Spotlight series. And today our special guest is a beautiful lady that I actually met last week virtually online. She is 52. She lives in Northern Ireland. She's a single mom of two adult kids. They're grown now. She actually started her business in June of 2019 as a virtual assistant. And then she quickly realized that her ideal client was actually on LinkedIn and that she needed to familiarize herself with LinkedIn as well to really leverage and maximize that platform. And what actually happened was that she fell in love with LinkedIn. And now, as a coach to female business owners, just like me and herself, she is all things LinkedIn now, but with a twist. She is on a mission to actually challenge the LinkedIn stereotype. Her message is LinkedIn without limits. Please help me welcome Sharon Murray, the LinkedIn confidence coach, helping female business owners overcome their LinkedIn fears and attract their ideal clients. So welcome, Sharon.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh my gosh, I am so excited to have you here all the way from Ireland.
I know.
Yes, and it is a beautiful country. I've actually visited as a tourist, and it is absolutely spectacular. So this is one thing that I'm loving about the virtual world that we're living in is this opportunity to actually connect and meet new faces and have new conversations around the world with technology. So I'm so grateful to have had this opportunity to meet you and get to know you as well and share your passion for helping women in business leveraging LinkedIn.
Yeah, same. And I'm conscious that I need to speak probably quite slow because we do speak very fast here, and I'll try and remember to slow down a little bit.
Well, I clearly understand you. So
That's okay.
yeah, so tell us about how you fell in love with LinkedIn and what led you to become the LinkedIn expert that you are today.
Really, as you were saying, Carol, I started off as a virtual assistant. Everybody at the time said, "Oh, you need to be on LinkedIn. That's where your clients are going to be." And I was really nervous of it. Didn't know anything about it. It was like, "Oh, I don't think I want to do this. It's very professional. I'm afraid I'm going to get judged if I put stuff out." And I just really sort of took it on board. I knew that was where I needed to be. I thought, okay, I'll start into it. I know I'll make mistakes, but that's how I'll learn. And I just literally spent every day on LinkedIn. I downloaded all the freebies, did all the webinars, did everything, and just kept researching and training. And then really started to see the results and thought, oh, actually, this is really cool. And then around the start of 2020, I started working with a business coach. I knew virtual assistant wasn't really where I wanted to be going from a financial perspective, and it just wasn't sitting comfortably. It wasn't my passion. And we chatted around that, and she said, well, why don't you just do LinkedIn? And of course, the whole imposter syndrome, and oh, I couldn't do that. There's no way. Sure, I taught myself. Who am I to say that I'm an expert in LinkedIn? I've only been doing it for a few months. And there was a lot of talking and a lot of convincing. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll try. So I sort of ran it alongside the virtual assistants for a while because I was a bit nervous of just saying, I couldn't even use the word expert for ages. I was like, I can't say that word. Who am I to say I'm an expert? And then finally, around May time last year, I said, okay, I now can get rid of the virtual assistants. I'm doing well out of the LinkedIn. Lockdown did do me quite a lot of favors because people wanted to be online, so it worked quite well. And then I really went full into it. And that was when I started offering the one-to-one programs and the longer programs. And still get up every day and pinch myself and think, I can't believe this is what I do. This is so cool. But as a platform, I just really love it because I find it incredibly supportive. I find it very non-judgmental in comparison to Facebook. It does have a slightly more professional and formal edge to it, but I like to make it fun. I don't see any reason why you can't be professional and have fun at the same time as you would in an office. So I'm a wee bit out there on it, a wee bit outside the box. Try to push the limits a little bit. I did have a post blocked recently because I obviously overstepped the mark, but I was just experimenting to see whether I could get away with it, and I couldn't, because I'm all about standing out. I'm all about standing out on LinkedIn. I recently read, I don't know if anybody knows Seth Godin's book, Purple Cow, which is like my fave book. So I always say, be a purple cow on LinkedIn.
Absolutely. Be a purple cow. Is that right?
Yeah.
On LinkedIn. I love Seth Godin as well. So,
Yeah.
and very familiar with his work. And I know he has a huge following.
Yeah.
I really love you're sharing your story of how you actually took your expertise and really fine-tuned it in an opportunity to help others shine on LinkedIn. And I mean, as I'm an entrepreneur as well, like you, I just think it's so exciting when I see women in business, small business owners and entrepreneurs really, figure out what is it that they are really good at, that they're passionate about, that they have years of experience, and turning that expertise into an actual a business, and by offering services that can help others. So you have totally nailed it this past year, going from a virtual assistant. And as you said, you really weren't passionate about it, though it sounds like you figured out, how to do virtual, what you needed to do, and had clients, etc., but you weren't fulfilled. It wasn't fulfilling.
Correct.
And then you discovered and fell in love with LinkedIn. So I just think that's an amazing journey that you've been on, which is why I invited you here today to share your story, because I do want to encourage, women in business, entrepreneurs, small business owners around the world that, if you are truly passionate about something, you have an area of expertise. There's no reason why you can't create a coaching program or a small business or some type of consulting and help others be successful in that area of expertise. So especially in today's virtual world and leveraging technology, it's amazing what we can do today. So I'm so excited to have you here today to share LinkedIn and how we can shine on LinkedIn and share our brilliance. So what are take us through an example of when you're working with one of your clients. Let's start with somebody who's a newbie to LinkedIn. What are the first three things that you would kind of hone in to help them leverage LinkedIn?
Yeah, Carol, what I start with for somebody who's very new to it, which would be my one-to-one that they would jump into. So that's really people starting from scratch, or people who maybe are transitioning from corporate into entrepreneur, and really you're more or less starting the profile from scratch again anyway. The really crucial first step is clarity, and I cannot stress this enough. This is not just for LinkedIn, this is obviously for your whole business, but you need to be super, super clear on what your message is, what your business stands for, your values, why you do what you do. Simon Sinek, start with why. I'm a big Simon Sinek fan, but it is so true. Why are you going to get up in the morning? What is going to get you out of bed? And what problem do you solve? How do you solve it? What is the result there's so much goes into this first part. And I think people are surprised when they work with me, that actually we don't go near LinkedIn for, it could be 3 or 4 weeks before we really get this clarity piece nailed, because that's the foundation. So if you don't get that right, everything else, you'll struggle with everything else. So the clarity piece is really important. Confidence then, and that's obviously where my title comes from. And just as you were saying, Carl, about women out there, this is where the confidence part really came from. Is I had women say to me, I genuinely cannot press the post button. Like, it actually scares me. And I was really shocked. I was like, because you're really limiting your business opportunities, and really you have an amazing business, and that fear is holding you back from really, getting that out there, getting it out to the right people. I thought, that's so wrong. Women shouldn't feel like that. You have a massive contribution to make, and it could be from a technical side. They just don't know even how to navigate LinkedIn and the features of it. But most of it is a fear of being judged, because they think it's full of thought leaders and experts, which it is. So it's breaking that down. So for me, there's the clarity piece. The confidence comes from the clarity. You immediately feel quite empowered when you think, oh, I've really got a great message. This, you can see people actually rising up and going, yes, I'm proud of that message. I can put that out there. And only then start to look at your profile, start to get that feeling through your profile, and how you, even the colors that you use, the tone of voice, the words, everything. I didn't even realize I did my banner in red and yellow, and I didn't know why I'd picked those. And then I spoke to a girl who did branding, and she said, I can't believe you picked those two colors, because red is power and yellow is joy. And I thought, that's amazing, because that's exactly what I would want to put out there. So I was obviously drawn to that, drawn to those colors. So those would be the initial bits, just to get the clarity before you start to go into the profile. Don't connect until you have your profile optimized. Don't put content out until you have the profile and the connection. So it's all a process.
I've never thought of it that way, as a process. And I love how you start with clarity. And as you were describing your process and going through that clarity process, I actually, in my mind, was visualizing what I have gone through to create beautiful faces going places in our success network. And as you were leading into the confidence element, I mean, I was just listening to you, just going in awestruck, going, yes, yes, yes. That makes total sense when you start to own the description of how you describe yourself, how you describe your services, and you believe in what you have to offer, it is actually a solution to solving someone's problem. Then that total fear factor goes away.
Yeah.
And when you start, and I can see it's a process when you own, you know what? Yes,
Yeah.
I have something that can help you.
Yeah.
And I can see how that confidence evolves, because
Definitely.
I
And I
too
mean,
have gone through that process of
yeah,
just,
I
as
think
you start,
everything you do is a process,
yes,
really. And I don't think
right.
people realize. And I think one of the things um, about LinkedIn in general is that people tend to start a little bit, and then they jump to a little bit, and then they jump, and they're all over, and then they don't understand why it's not working. And you're like, no, we need to come right back to the start. Let's go right back. Let's unravel, and let's get that clarity piece sorted. And let's then start to move forward from that. And then you start to, people go, I get it. Yes, I understand. Oh, now I'm starting to enjoy LinkedIn. Oh, now I'm seeing results. I love LinkedIn. And this is how you see people starting to fall in love with it. And it's because they're starting to see that what they're saying is resonating, and that gives them that buzz of going, oh, actually, this is really quite good. This is working well. And it's lovely, really lovely to watch that. And my clients will phone me or message, go, guess what happened? Somebody said this on my post, and they get so, and I'm really excited for them. I'm like, yay! I knew you could do it. I knew you could do it. So I'm just so lucky that I get to watch people have this journey and see really great results and see their business really thrive. And it's an absolute joy.
That's fantastic. Really fantastic. I saw myself in your description when you were describing, the hesitation of pushing the button to post something, and then once you do it several times, and as long as your message is in line with your company, your values, your beliefs,
Yes.
and it's non-sales pitchy as well, that it's,
Yes.
I think that's where the magic happens. And then you start drawing and attracting your ideal clients as they resonate with your message that you've put out into the world or put out onto LinkedIn. So I can see how all of that just kind of parlays and
Yeah.
it is a system and a process. So I think
Yes,
that's
exactly.
fantastic. And I just see your sheer joy and excitement as well. So I'm sure your clients are so lucky to work with you, Sharon. So let's talk about those that have been on LinkedIn. They already have their profile set up, but they are not leveraging LinkedIn in terms of finding their ideal clients or connecting with, potential collaboration partners or referral partners. It's not always about, getting the customer. Do you know?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think, again, a lot of my clients are surprised at the collaborative element of it. I know that's more what I use it for now, because I find actually my ideal client is really on Facebook, because they're at such early days of LinkedIn. They're not really active on LinkedIn. But I'm still out there from a credibility perspective and from a partnering and networking perspective. But for people who have been on it and they're just not still seeing the results, normally what I find is their profile isn't client focused. If you're using LinkedIn for lead generation, your profile has to be about your client and not about you. And I see it over and over again. And I do sort of rant a little bit about this, but please don't write your profile like a CV. And I know if you've maybe been using it previously from a corporate perspective or from possibly a job hunting perspective, I understand that. But if you're now wanting to use it to attract clients, the bottom line is they're not really interested in your qualifications and your experience, not initially. To grab their attention, to really hook them in, you need to be speaking to the problem that they have and how are you going to solve it, because really that's all they want to know in the first instance. They've come on to LinkedIn because they have a problem and they're trying to find somebody to solve that problem. So you need to get to really speak to that. And I find that people that have been on for a while, their profile just hasn't been updated, and it just needs, a bit of a makeover, just to get those points across. That's normally. And sometimes you find as well, Carl, that people will have old connections that maybe aren't as relevant anymore. And it's worth every so often just going through those and culling your connections and removing ones, because it's not about numbers. This is my second rant. Please do not get caught up in vanity metrics. It's all about quality and not about quantity. So don't feel you have to have thousands and thousands of connections. It would be preferable to have a small number that are really engaged, who are ideal clients or people who can refer you or people that you can partner, collaborate with, than to have thousands of all these connections that really have no relevance and won't bring value to your network. So that's really important.
I think those are two fabulous points. If you
Thank you.
have been on LinkedIn, you have your profile set up and you're questioning or wondering, why is this flat? Why is my LinkedIn activity level flat? And I think it's time for a refresh.
Mhm.
Actually, and I always recommend this as it is the new year. And this is a good time to really take a look at all of your whether they're social media links, your
Mhm.
online profiles, and update. It's the perfect time of year to do the audit and really go through and audit all of your profiles wherever you may possibly be, and figure out what's working, what's not working,
Yeah,
and also just refresh. This is the
definitely.
perfect time of year to do that.
It is. And you should look at your profile and be really proud of it. And it should light you up. And if it's not doing that, then have a rethink. And another thing I tell my clients to do is to look at other people's profiles in the same field as you. Reflect on those, what you like about them, what you don't like about them. It's very hard, and I understand, to critique your own work. Of course it is. We're too close to it. This is why I do what I do, because I just will say it as it is and go, nope, you need to change that. That's not going to work. And it's the same with putting out posts. It's difficult to sit and go, is that going to work? Is it not going to work? But the majority of the time, you are your ideal client.
I discovered that as well.
Yeah.
Yes, I think it was
Whatever
about a year.
resonates with you should resonate with them.
Yes,
You look at a profile and think, I would never buy from that person. Take that on board and try and think about that for your own profile. If you read your profile, I actually put this post on LinkedIn just yesterday. If you read your profile, would you hire you?
great
And I know it's
question.
difficult because you're too close to it, but try and step back and go, would I hire me from that? Is it really telling me what I want to know? Is it not really?
Right,
Not
right.
really inspiring me. It's not, look at mine, see what you think of mine and whether that inspires you or whatever. But do look around at other people's. It's a good idea. And for
It,
posting as well, if you look at
yes.
what you have stopped on, what has made you stop scrolling? What has made you comment? What has made you engage? What was it about that post? And think about why you stopped, because the likelihood is your ideal client would do exactly the same thing.
Oh, I love it. I think about the exercise that I actually did. I think it was about a year and a half ago, of creating your ideal client
Client.
avatar.
Mm.
Just going through that exercise. And what I discovered after going through the exercise was that I was my ideal client. And that was just so, it was an eye opener. It's like, oh
Yeah,
my gosh, really?
I
I,
know.
I just, I just described myself.
Mm.
So you're absolutely right. Yes, and I loved your second point. It's not about numbers. It's not a numbers game. It
No.
is quality over quantity. And I actually, Sharon, had never thought of the idea of going through my LinkedIn contacts and doing an audit there as well, and saying, you know what, this contact is no longer relevant,
Mm.
and I never thought about doing that. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for bringing that to my attention,
And
to our viewers' attention.
yeah, and what you can do, Carl, if you don't feel comfortable, now people don't get a notification to say they've been removed, so don't worry about that. But I know people feel uncomfortable, and I did this on Facebook as well. I put up a post and I said, I just want to explain that, this is my business now, and I'm working through my connections, and I may remove you from my connection. This is nothing personal. This is just because I want to have, a very targeted audience. So if you notice that you are no longer connected to me, this is why. And just be really open and honest with people and say this, I did it on Facebook. I said, I will now be using my personal page slightly more for business. If you want to unfriend me, I completely understand. And I'm all for being very transparent. So if that
Yeah.
makes you feel a bit more comfortable before you
Hmm.
start to remove people, then absolutely do that.
Yeah, no, that is fantastic. And once again, this is a great time of year to do all of that, right?
Hmm. Yep. Your spring cleaning. Not
That's
spring
right.
yet, but an early spring clean.
Oh, Sharon. Well, I cannot believe the level of just expertise that you shared with us today. And I just want to say thank you so much. I can see why you are the LinkedIn confidence coach. And so I want to say, if any of our listeners or viewers are here today, would like to connect with you, where is the best place for them to find you?
Well, the best place is on LinkedIn. If you're connecting with me on LinkedIn from hearing this interview, please put a little note to say that's how you know me, because I can be selective about who I accept requests from and who I don't. So I definitely don't want to be rejecting anybody that has been good enough to listen to this today. So just put a little note. It only needs to be small. Even if you just write Carol's name, I'll even know that that's how you know me. But that's definitely the best place to get in touch with me. If you want to know any more about how you can work with me, then drop me that message on LinkedIn. My group program only runs 3 times a year. It's open at the moment. My one-to-one, I take very few one-to-ones because I give my all to them, and I find them not draining, but I do give a lot. So I would rather I only take about 2 a month. So yeah, it'd be amazing to have chat with anybody, and I'm loving the fact I'm going global. This is just
Yes,
really exciting.
yes, you are going global, and so are we.
I love it.
Yes. Cheers to beautiful faces going places. Yes.
Totally,
I
totally.
absolutely love it as well, Sharon. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us.
You're very
I am
welcome.
looking forward to continuing our working relationship.
We certainly
And
will.
I would like to remind our viewers that all of our events are listed and posted on our website at beautifulfacesgoingplaces.com. We do love to network here. We are a networking organization. So come and join us at any of our virtual networking events. And what I love about it is that we actually now have hosts that are co-hosting from different cities, states, and even countries around the world. So if you are not limited to a geographic location, come and join us, meet some new faces, new conversations, and new connections, and let us help you take your business to the next level in 2021. So connect with Sharon. Go ahead and do that LinkedIn audit. Now is the best time of year to do that. And thank you so much, Sharon, for sharing your
Very
expertise
welcome.
with
You're very
us
welcome.
today. All right. Take care.
Thank you. Bye,
Bye. Thank
everybody.
you. Bye-bye.